Welcome back to another video, YouTube. Today, as you guys can see, my client has not had a haircut in about 5 months. So we're about to give him a transformation and we're gonna do a low taper, and I'm gonna walk you guys through on how I got that accomplished. So my client came in with his hair pre-parted and obviously left out the hairs that he wanted faded. So I just went ahead after I picked out the hair, make sure everything's sticking straight up. I took my 2-guard and went in and just debulked all around so I could have a clean and even surface to start the fade on. And before we get any further into this video, I do want to apologize about the angle that this video was shot in. I'm still getting accustomed to my new space and working on a new setup for you guys. So bear with me on the angle of this tutorial. Once everything is debulked, I like to go ahead and, since it's a low taper, I like to go ahead and line the C-curve up, because once I see the C-curve, it helps me pinpoint where the low taper starts and stops. After putting the guideline right in the center of his ear, my next step is to grab the clipper with the lever open and go up a whole inch from that bottom guideline. And for the next guideline, we're gonna grab the number 1 guard with the lever open, going up a whole inch as well. Now that we have both those guidelines in there, in order to take out that line that we just created, we're gonna grab the 0.5 guard halfway, and we're just gonna flick at that line to soften it up and create our blend. And right here, I'm just using the number 2 guard with the lever closed against the grain just to bring the hair down closer to the skin. So this is a low taper, and I like to keep my low taper fades tight. So with that being said, the next step is to grab the 1.5 guard with the lever halfway, and we're just gonna flick at that bulk that we see right at the top of that bottle fade that we created. And as I can see, I did not speed this video up so you guys can actually watch how many times I'm actually going over the same spot while constantly combing the hair back down and going over that same spot again, just to make sure everything is neat and even, because precision is key. And right after the 1.5 guard, we're going to put the number 1 guard with the lever halfway as well, still attacking that same line that we're attacking. This time we're just going to move a little bit lower than we were previously with the 1.5 guard. So at this point, we can play around with the lever opening and closing as needed, just moving up and down around the fade, attacking certain areas that we see might need a little bit more attention. And for that last and final line, which is the first guideline that we started with, we want to take the guards off, and we're going to go no guards this time and play around with the lever opening and closing, moving up and down on the fade, just to blend that line out. Don't be afraid to turn your clipper sideways so you can hit certain angles, and also be sure to comb the hair back down just so you can see exactly what you're doing. And right here, I just seen some areas that I wanted to go back in and touch up a little more. So this is basically just detail work. So y'all can watch me as I freehand detail as well. So remember earlier, we debulked the entire hair with the number 2 guard closed, but now that I have my fade in there, I just figured it looked a lot better when I go back around with the 1.5 guard closed and re-debulk every area right before lining it up. And of course, lining it up is very straightforward, but just some tips. Make sure you have a steady hand. Make sure you're not pushing anyone back, and go over the same spot a couple of times just to ensure that line is as crisp as possible. And this is still the 1.5 guard. I'm just debulking the front taper, making sure everything's neat and even right before I go in and line it up. But like I said earlier, I did not speed this video up so you guys can see how I take my time, how I'm very precise with my strokes, with my lining, with everything that I do, because precision is the key. And that's what I value the most. And I feel like that's what my clients value the most about me when it comes to their haircut. And don't be afraid to use enhancements, especially if your clients request for it. I hear a lot of talks on the internet, but in real life, people really do like the enhancements and they prefer it that way because it does give a whole entire different look to the haircut. I really do appreciate you guys for tapping into this video. I hope you were able to learn something new in today's video. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video as well if you found it helpful. Don't forget to check out the rest of my videos on my page. And I do believe repetition is the key, guys. You watch enough of these videos, you practice enough in real life, and eventually you'll be exactly where you want to be. So be sure to stay consistent and stay motivated. And in due time, you'll be exactly where you want to be. I'll catch you guys in the next video.